I'm Master Sergeant Mike Andriaco, stationed at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. I love the fact that bladesmithing brings a balance to my life. This is me living my dream, but in front of a real big audience.
I'm Tech Sergeant Matthew Prentice, currently in the United States Air Force, stationed out at Grand Forks Air Force Base. What got me into bladesmithing was actually the show Forged in Fire, and I kind of told my wife, hey, you know, I want to do that, and she was like, yeah, whatever, you're not going to do that.
I'm retired Chief Master Sergeant Joe Stickles. Well, I've got over 26 years of military service. I've been promising my wife a Hawaii trip. I never did take her on a honeymoon, so when I win this $50,000, there's going to be a trip in it for my wife, absolutely.
Today in our first round of competition, we'll be making blades inspired by history, and today, you airmen will be making this blade. In honor of one of the Air Force's most strategic campaigns, you will be forging a bolo after Operation Bolo. This is a Filipino farming tool that was also used for warfare. Let's talk a little bit about steel. Today, I'd like you to make a San Mai blade using mild steel harvested from the main rotor nuts from helicopters and 1-inch round stock W1 steel. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your time starts now.
My game plan is I need to get that W1 drawn out into a usable billet, and then I need to figure out how I'm going to work with this retention nut. The oxygen acetylene torch is one of those tools when I was a kid, growing up working with my dad. That was one of the tools that I was actually able to start using at a fairly young age.
It looks like Joe's done a really good job of separating his steels over there.
The angle grinder's not working the way I was expecting it to, so maybe I can try something else. I'm thinking, what about some kind of hot cut tool? And oh my gosh, it's working just like I wanted it to.
So I decided to go to the forge to heat this retention nut and see if I could hammer it off, and that's not working out for me. I finally decide to, instead of using the big billet, take it over to the chop saw and cut off small pieces out.
Wow, it's got a very little piece.
That's all you need.
I got my W1 pretty much drawn out faster than I've ever done it. My goal at this point is to get them all tack welded together, stacked up, and ready to go in the forge. Yes.
I haven't made a blade shape like this. The example has a very clear definition between where the blade ends and the handle starts. I need to bring that bulbous tip. So I'm just going to get it as close as possible.
Joe is out ahead of the pack. I mean, he just has been doing really good, smart work.
So there he goes, Joe's in the quench.
I got a good straight blade.
I set my first weld. It takes, flux a little more, throw it back, just for an insurance policy. So now, for the first time in the competition, I start trying to shape my blade. I'm feeling pretty good about the shape that I'm getting, so this is it. I need to get this thing in the quench.
There's a quench from Mike with a really, really hot blade, man. That thing was the temperature of the sun. It had to be.
And with that amount of heat, I'd be really surprised if it didn't work.
Watch those San Mai edges just go.
So I go in for my quench, I pull my blade out, I realize that the blade didn't fully harden. So, with 4 minutes on the clock, I go back in for a second quench.
Just drop that in there.
Matt's blade is laying in the bottom of his oil drum over there. I mean, he's quenched it.
I put my finger in the oil oil's hot, didn't really want to put my arm in there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This first round of competition is over. All right, bladesmiths, congratulations. You've made it into the second round of this competition. Now that your blades have been tempered, it's time to turn them into fully functional bolos by attaching handles to them. Additionally, gentlemen, 3 pinholes, a lanyard hole, and an acid etch on your blades. Good luck. Your 2 hour starts now.
For the handle, I decided to go with a tan micarta material because it most closely matches the wood of the original, but the material is just tough as nails.
I gotta get a handle put on. Also, by flipping the blade upside down, I already can see that it's gonna be much more manageable to grind this bolo profile out. Feeling pretty nervous right now. Got my pin handles drilled. I mean, I'm getting there, and it's somewhat shaped like the bolo. Oh, get in there. I need to get this handle glued up, and then I need to get this knife sharpened.
In Matt's mind, the whole thing is make a complete knife. If you have time, straighten it. But you don't want to end up with a straight knife that doesn't meet parameters.
I had a big mess to start with, but by doing a hollow grind, I was able to get in where those welds weren't completed and basically able to blend the steel, and I was able to find where the welds are. Right now, I'm going to work on getting the handle finished up. These are chopping knives, so it's got to fit comfortably in the hand real well. Okay, back to the blade. And then I need to put a final edge on it.
As I'm shaping my handle, I realize I forgot to drill a lanyard hole in the micarta.
I knew the hole was in the steel itself, and I remembered about where it was.
Shot in the dark at the drill press. $50,000 is on the line here. I nailed it.
Crisis averted.
The tang, it's got a slight warp, and I have some pretty big gaps between the wood and the metal. I decide to clamp everything back together, apply some more glue, and then go ahead and just go back to the grinder, and I'm hoping for the best.
2 minutes, bladesmiths!
There was only a couple minutes left. Etched, I forgot, etched. And it finally hit me that I'm supposed to etch this blade. So I knew I had to get over the ferric chloride and get it done. If I don't get this etched, it could be what sends me home.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmith, shut down your machines, drop your tools, stop what you're doing. This second round of competition is over. Good job.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the flight helmet chop. To test the strength and durability of your bolo blades, as well as the overall construction of your knives, I'm going to be bashing them into these flight helmets. Remember, I don't really care what happens to these brain buckets. It's what happens to your bolos that really counts. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Let's crack this nut.
Well, Mike, the blade held up really well. And there's no evidence that this edge has seen a helmet. The one major issue I have is just the size of this handle. It's a little narrow in this dimension for my hand, which makes it a little bit round and rolly. But all in all, it all held up really well to the test, so well done.
Thank you.
So Matt, you see what we're up to. How you feeling?
A little nervous.
Well, Matt, your edge held up really well. It's still sharp. The big issue I have is the handle. All of the pins have come loose. The handle itself isn't really glued in place. Would have been worthwhile to take more time fixing this warp. But that aside, it all held together well, so good job. Joe, you're up. How you feeling?
I'm as ready as I can be.
Well, Joe, your blade here suffered chipping. Got a big sort of dime radius chip, and then the rest of it is all chipped as well. I think that when you were chasing this delamination, you ended up with an edge that's on the thinner side. Aside from your blade, the handle is a good size, good dimension. I like the contouring, but there's just no denying this chipping on the edge here.
Yes, sir.
This is the sugarcane slice. To test the sharpness of your weapon, I will cut across these sugar canes. Mike, you're up first. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
I'm just praying and hoping there's no problems.
All right, Mike, your edge cut easily through this sugarcane. It's light, it's fast, it's sharp, and most importantly, it will cut.
Yes.
All right, Matt, your turn, sir. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Thanks.
First up, the handle. it's loosened a lot. There's a little crack, and it's starting to open up where I can see it. But despite this severe warp that you have right here, your blade is strong, it's sharp, and most importantly, it will cut.
Awesome.
All right, Chief, you're next. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
I know my only chance of moving on at this point is my blade has to perform very well.
Good job.
All right, Chief, let's talk about your bolo here. Your edge. You have some missing pieces right here, but the edge is sharp enough to cut. It's wieldable. You have a good balance here because it's got a good handle to hold on to. More importantly, sir, it'll cut.
Thank you.
Airmen, the judges have completed their deliberation, and it's time for one of you smiths to leave the forge. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Joe. Your blade didn't make the cut. Please surrender your blade.
I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't do a better job in the first round and wasn't able to make the corrections that needed to be made, but I feel really good about the two Smiths moving forward representing the Air Force. I may not be a Forge and Fire champion, but I had the opportunity to come here and show some of my skills. I'm walking out with my head held high.
Mike, Matt, congratulations. You've made it to the next phase in this operation, which means we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this iconic weapon. The United States Air Force non-commissioned officer sword. You'll have 4 days at your home forges in which to complete this challenge. At the end of 4 days, you'll return and present your swords to our panel of expert judges. And after they've put them through the paces, they'll move one of you on to our final Battle of the Branches competition. You also need to make a scabbard for this sword. I'm just messing with you. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck, brother. It's day one. Feels great to be back here in my home forge. For this blade, I'm gonna be using Damascus, and I'm gonna try to put in a twist just for fun. A lot of Air Force ties in how I live my life day to day, and this challenge was no exception. There's a lot of firsts for me on this blade. I've never done Damascus this long. I've never heat treated anything this long. I've never made a cross guard like this before. It's gonna be a bit stressful for me. None of my welds pop, so at least it's a solid billet.
So we won't know for sure until we're grinding into it, but I'm fairly certain it was a successful twist. I don't think we have any inclusions. I think it's gonna look pretty good.
So I've got 16 layers now in this billet. I've got it drawn out enough, I can cut it into 3 sections, stack it back on itself for a total of 48 layers. This is gonna be one of the longest things I've ever forged, so keeping it straight might be a little bit of a challenge, especially with the twist in it. That could cause some things to warp. All in all, a solid finish for day one.
Now that I'm one of 2 airmen left, I definitely want to be, the one that shows that the Air Force has what it takes to win the Forge and Fire branch competition. The plan for today is to draw the 1084 round stock out. I'm just gonna draw a line on the floor to give me an idea of how far I'm drawing it out. To start, the 1084 steel was 20 inches. I gotta draw it out to about 35 inches to get the cross guard, the handle, and the pommel on. I still gotta draw it out quite a bit, thin it down. This 27 to 28 inch sword is gonna be interesting, keeping it straight. It is a negative 18 outside right now, so I'm ready to get inside and turn this forge on. So yesterday I got the blade drawn out. This morning we're going for the quench. Getting something this long, hot, and keeping it straight is gonna be one of my biggest challenges right now. Now I got a warping issue. Might be heat treating it again. In the back of your mind, you're always thinking, did the heat treat not go well? Quenching 2 times, will I have, bad grain structure? I have a ton of concerns. Slight warp, but at this point, I'm definitely not quenching again.
It's the morning of day 4. I didn't sleep very well. I still need to finish the pommel, I need to finish the cross guard, and I haven't even started the handle yet.
I can tell we're almost through though. Almost there. I can feel it.
I definitely think this is a blade worthy of having me stand at the Air Force anvil in the final round. It is an example of how I problem solve, how I look for solutions, and how I don't give up. All right, that's as good as we're gonna get.
Day 4, and today I need to get the cross guard fitted up, the handle shape wrapped with wire, and then the pommel assembled as well. The whole handle. Looking at the original NCO sword, I was trying to figure out what the best way to make that wire-wrapped handle was. Safety wire. We use that in the military. I thought that was good to kind of throw a little Air Force-ism into it. Works perfect. I'm definitely nervous that I have only 1 day left. In the back of your mind, you're always thinking, do I have what it takes to move on to the Battle of the Branches? I mean, that's what it's all about. That's it. May the best airman win.
All right, airmen. Now we'll take your weapon and deliver some thrust and slashes on this ballistics dummy. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, Mike, it's a very light sword. Because of that, you can move with it. Now, your tip allows for a nice thrust with your edge. It slices, I can feel every cut in there. But more importantly, it will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Matt, your turn. You ready, sir?
Yes, sir. Nice.
All right, Matt, let's talk about your blade here. The edge that you have here is very sharp. The point punctures nicely. And most importantly, sir, it'll kill.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, next up, the strength test. For that, we have Ben.
Hello, bladesmiths. To test the strength and durability of your swords as well as their overall construction, I'll be bashing them into this propeller. Mike, you're up first. You ready?
No.
We're gonna do it anyway.
All right.
Good job. Good.
Well, Mike, your blade held up great. The only issue I have with it is that I would really like this pommel to be bigger. If the pommel were bigger, it would give me a stop. But it's got a nice weight. It's still sharp as when it started. Really well done.
Thank you so much.
Matt, you're up. What are you thinking?
Ready.
Well, Matt, your blade held up great. It's still sharp. This is a much heavier sword, but the biggest issue I have is with the crossguard and back. Your crossguard is loose. It wiggles. And also your wire wrap is loose. But it's all in one piece. It did a heck of a thing on that propeller. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, we're not finished yet. Next up is the sharpness test, and for that, I give you to Doug.
All right, airmen, to test the edge of your blade, I'm going to be cutting across these harnesses. I'm looking for clean cuts. Mike, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Good job. Right through it. Sharp.
All right, Mike, light in flight and sharp enough to cut through the harness. It will cut.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
Thanks, man.
All right, Matt, your turn, sir. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Matt, let's talk about your blade here. It's kind of heavy. It's so forward in its weight that on this slash, using the last 6 inches, it just scratched the back of the harness. But on the backhand swing, where it's going all the way through, it cut the harness. But your weapon, sir, it will cut.
Thanks. Good job, man. Thanks.
Mike, Matt, the bladesmith moving forward is. Mike, congratulations.
Thank you.
Matt, first of all, thank you for your service. You have a beautiful sword that did quite well. But we based our decision on the fact that your guard came loose, the weight of your sword, and the wire wrapping is also loose. Well, that's the reason we're sending you home.
Yes, sir.
Matt, at this time, I have to ask you to please surrender your blade.
I feel good, no matter what. I mean, I'm glad I made it here.
Good job.
Thank you. I'm proud of myself, for sure. Mike's gonna represent the Air Force well. He's got a lot of people rooting for him, me as well. And he's a good bladesmith, so good luck.
Mike, they said you're only as good as your competition, and you overcame a fantastic competitor to move forward in this competition to represent the entire branch of the Air Force at our Battle of the Branches competition. How do you feel?
Feels amazing.
Please present your blade to the judges.
I can't believe I'm the Air Force champion. I'm looking forward to showing the rest of the DoD what we've got. There's a lot of added pressure moving forward. Now I'm competing against the Army, the Navy, and the Marine Corps, and we've got a little bit of a rivalry going on, so you better bring it, because you know I'm going to.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. There will be no signature blades in your signature style today. Instead, you'll be making this weapon made famous by the United States Marine Corps. That is the iconic K-bar. Since World War II, the K-bar has been the fighting knife of the United States Marine Corps. Featuring a short, lightweight blade and clip point, the weapon is famous for its multitude of uses. From close quarters combat to chopping wood to even opening cans, it is the trusted sidearm for devil dogs and survivalists alike. Let's talk a little bit about what you're making these K-bars out of. Today, you'll be working with this. No globe, all anchor. The crossbar is W1 high carbon steel. The anchor shape is mild steel. You'll have to harvest that hardenable and mild steel to use in your blades and utilize a San Mai technique. Good luck. Your 3 hour starts now.
We're gonna attack this anchor as we would any combat mission.
Let me get at it. All right, there you go. Hold on to it from the other side.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. Always thought to work as a team.
I got a bar of hardenable steel. I flattened it out, stick it between my 2 pieces of mild steel, and toss it in the forge, get it welded. This initial press is what's gonna make or break me being able to make a San Mai knife. Start going at it. Immediately I can tell that I got a good weld. I think I'm good to go.
My game plan for this is I don't want any mild steel down near my edge or my bevels, so I'm gonna use 2 thin strips of mild steel, 1 on each side, to my hardenable steel, just to jacket it, and we'll forge weld that together. That way we have meat parameters, and the spine is strong, and the knife is still really tough.
I draw my 3 pieces of metal out, and I realize my 2 pieces of mild steel, they're not as long as the hard W1 steel.
I got it.
On a thick centerpiece, those lean pieces of mild heat up faster and cool quicker. Don't necessarily weld very well.
I'm running out of time. So I'm going to the press to do my forge weld. I know that that weld is a critical point. If you get delaminations or that weld doesn't stick, you're gonna be in trouble.
She ain't gonna be pretty.
Trips in the quench.
Pull it out of the quench. I see a small warp, but I believe I can grind it out.
That will work just fine.
I get my blade shaped, and now I'm thinking about heat treating it. I take it out, and it seems nice and straight to me, so feeling pretty good.
Garrett just quenched.
Pull it out, and I've got just a little wiggle in it. So I head over to my jig, give it a good twist. Warp seems to come right out.
I think Garrett's really showing some really smart scientific work.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This round of competition is over.
Marines, welcome to the rifle shop. To test the strength and durability of your blades, as well as the overall construction of your K-bars, I will be chopping mercilessly into these rifles. Trip, you're up first. You ready?
Have at it, killer.
All right.
This K-bar, it looks badass, but hey, there could be a fracture or something in my blade. That thing could pop, go across the shop and kill somebody. Holy crap.
Well, Trip, nice job. There is glinting here and up here towards the tip, but this held up phenomenally well.
Hoorah, thank you.
All right, Gene, you're up. You ready?
Giddy up.
All right.
Just the way he swings that thing into that rifle, it's insane. No knife should be able to handle that. And just, I can't believe that he's gonna do it to mine.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Whee!
Hear that sound?
Yep.
That's your guard.
Yep.
Your guard is now loose. Can't tell if the handle slipped back from it, but there's a big gap there in this motion. Overall, though, it's all in one piece, so well done.
Thank you.
Well, Garrett, you've seen what I'm gonna do.
Oh, God.
How you feeling?
Yep.
All right. Yep, it is.
This test is gonna be the hardest test I've ever done on any of my blades. I'm afraid that that pommel is just gonna come right off, and that's what's gonna send me home. Woohoo! Was I the only one that seen a spark?
That was crazy.
Well, Garrett, there's a decent chunk out of your blade right here. This is the site of 2 impacts at least, and it lost. You know, there's a piece of your blade still over there somewhere. The rest of your knife is still tight, still there. It's all in one piece, mostly.
Thank you.
All right, Marines, this is the sharpness test. Today, the fight is all about cutting through these ropes. Trip, you're up first. You ready for this?
Raw.
Let's do it.
So I feel like, man, I was on top of the world a while ago, and now I'm at the damn bottom of the barrel, hoping not to go home.
All right, Trip, I love the handle. It really marries into my hand when I put it on. But the fact that I can do this is not very sharp at all. It did scratch and cut a little bit, but not as deeply as I thought it should. Overall, sir, your blade kind of cuts. All right, Gene, your turn, sir. You ready?
You bet.
Let's do this.
Giddy up.
Nice.
All right, Gene, let's talk about your K-bar here. The edge you put on, despite having some glinting right here, is still sharp. Took down all the ropes. It feels good when you're swinging it. And overall, sir, it'll cut.
Yes.
There it is.
He said it.
All right, Garrett, you're up next. You ready, sir?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I feel like I'm at a definite disadvantage. After Trip's knife didn't go through any of the ropes, I need my knife to cut through them, or else I could be going home. Man, oh man.
All right, Garrett, the handle's a bit on the larger side. There's some extra space right there. But when you grab onto it, it is comfortable. Despite having a chip right here, you can see it still cuts. On one of the swings, it actually got hung up on that one section right there. But it does cut through the first rope and some of the second rope and a little bit on the third. Overall, sir, it'll cut.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, the judges have deliberated. They've made their final decision. It's time for one of you Marines to leave the forge. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Garrett. Your blade didn't make the cut.
Garrett, above all else, the quality of a blade is something an end user depends on. While this was very close, we base our decision Your blade took the most damage on the strength test. For that reason, we're sending you home.
I understand.
Garrett, please surrender your blade.
My blade took the most damage. It's only fair that I go home. But I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to compete, and especially with 3 other Marines. Talk about a brotherhood. I would have loved to represent the Marine Corps in the final challenge, but they got 2 great smiths out there that are going to do a great job.
Trip, Gene, congratulations. You fellas have made it into the next evolution of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate this. Your final challenge is to forge a Marine Corps officer's sword, also known as a Mameluke. You'll have 4 days at your home forges in which to complete this challenge, and at the end of those 4 days, you'll return and present your swords to our panel of expert judges. And after they've thoroughly tested them, they'll move one of you forward to represent the Marine Corps at the Battle of the Branches final competition and give you that opportunity to win a check for 50 grand. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
Rah. Good luck.
So it's day 1. I'm back at my home forge in Springfield, Virginia. So I think the more difficult aspects of the build are the parameters that I have to build it to. It's very specific and very tight. So we'll see what happens. Because the parameters are so tight on the bend of the blade, my crazy idea is to take a 6x6 log, and then I'm gonna remove all the excess wood, and it's gonna leave me with the blade shape that I want.
Wow, that went better than I thought.
I plan on heating up the metal and whacking it on this log, and it's gonna bend and conform to it. I've seen a lot of the smiths straighten out their blade with this slap on the anvil. So why not try to do it on a big old log and put an arch in it? It seemed to work pretty well. I like just jumped 4 hours ahead of my little schedule. I'm getting ready to heat treat it. I wanna keep it thick because I'm worried about a warp.
What, Gene?
I am exhausted. The quench went great. I'm ready to hit the rack.
All right, so it's day 2. I'm getting ready to jump right into some forging. Hammer time. Well, this is a very thin, long blade. So what's difficult about a thin and long blade is just the pure fact that it's gonna warp. I'm constantly having to hammer the big curves back out and try to keep it straight as possible, all while trying to draw it out and get the width and the thickness that I want. It finally meets parameters. I'm finally able to move on to quenching. If I was to pick up a crack, that's start over time. Man, this thing can do anything in the quench here. If this thing snaps, we're gonna be close to being screwed, man. I don't see any warps. It looks like it's pretty straight. Super stoked about that. After today, I feel pretty damn awesome.
Day 3, and I'm ready to get going on sand casting a guard for my Mameluke sword. I've never done any sand casting before. Go big or go home. The consistency of the sand is the big thing. I went with play box sand, mixed it with some kitty litter and some water. Got it to the right consistency and took a shot at it. I molded some clay in this rough shape of a guard, and I used that to mold the sand around. I pulled out the clay. Now I'm ready to heat up my brass. Let's go cast some metal. My mold is ready. My brass is a big pool of molten hot brass. I'm ready to pour it in, so I'm gonna go for it. I'm really hoping this sand cast goes well because I've used a lot of time, and if it doesn't, I don't know how I'm gonna recover. Moment of truth coming up. Holy cow, it worked. I can't believe it. I just gotta knock the sand off, clean it up a little bit on the grinder. That's a guard. We got a guard.
Day 4, man. Today I've got to sharpen this blade, get it out of here. My K-bar didn't do so well in the rope cutting test, so I want this blade to cut through whatever those guys are gonna put this thing through. I want that Marine Corps anvil pretty damn bad just because I want to be able to represent the Marines in the Battle of the Branches. I believe I can come home with that 50 grand and represent the Marine Corps very well. Damn!
So this is the start of day 4. So today I gotta start out with getting it all fit together. When Doug Marcaito swings this thing, it is going to slice whatever it goes into. I realized I had a little bit more time left, and I wanted to try to put the names of my competitors on the blade with some gun blue. Rick, Garrett, Trip, and Gene. I'm pretty happy with it. I know it's gonna cut. I am done.
All right, Marines, welcome to the kill test. To find out what lethal damage your weapon will do, I'll take your weapon, deliver killing blows to this ballistics dummy. Trip, you're up first. You ready for this?
Get it, killer.
Hoorah. Yikes.
Oh! Holy moly.
All right, Trip. First up, the handle construction. It is comfortable. Your edge here is sharp. Even cutting through the skull, no issues at all. No chipping, no glinting. And when you thrust with this, it penetrates and cuts all the way out. Overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
All right, hoorah.
All right, Gene, you're next. You ready?
Let's do this.
Oh, no. It bent it. All right, Gene. Your weapon picked up a warp right here, okay? Your handle, coupled with blood all over, made it very slippery and hard to hold on to because it's blocky and smooth. And I lost my grip on it. That's a very dangerous thing to happen when you're trying to wield the weapon. But your edge is still sharp, your tip is still thrustable, and more importantly, it will kill.
That'll work.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test. So to test the overall construction of your blade and see if they're going to hold an edge, I'll be smashing into these pots. Now remember, this test is not about what your swords do to those pots, what those pots do to your swords. Trip, you're up. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Yep. Holy moly. Ah, dog.
Well, Trip, a few things before we get to the obvious. Your handle construction is very comfortable. Felt really good in my hand, felt like I could do a lot with it. But right there at the edge, there's that little brown spot. You had a micro crack on that edge.
Yeah.
So as soon as I hit that pot, it cut loose. I loved its feel, its shape, and its look, but obvious problem.
All right, Trip, while I know any Marine could take that blade and still continue to fight, in this competition, your blade suffered a catastrophic failure after one strike on that vase. Gene, your blade only has to survive one strike on these pots.
The entire Marine Championship for Forged in Fire lies on one swing, and I've got a big old warp in my blade, so it's not over yet.
Nice job.
Gene, first off, you're in one piece. You picked up that bend earlier on, but you didn't pick up any more in this test. Strong blade, held up. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Trip, looks like Gene's blade held up. That means that you cannot move forward to represent the Marine Corps in our next challenge. Please leave the forge.
Super disappointed. There's really no way to tell that you have like any minor cracks or anything like that. So you just, hey, you find out when you test them. That's how we found out today. Get it, brother. Gene's gonna freaking bring home that Battle of the Branches Marine Corps anvil. He's winning it for the Marine Corps.
Gene, congratulations. You've won this competition, and that means that you're going to be moving forward into our Battle of the Branches final competition to represent the Marine Corps at the Marine Corps' Anvil. And that's going to give you an opportunity to win a check for $50,000. Good job, brother.
Thank you. Holy cow. I did not see this coming. It's been a fun ride up until now, but now I got to represent the Marines. So now it's game on, and it's about to get real. And those other branch service members better look out.